Aloha everybody, what is going on my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to be talking about the Garden of War, the new PvM Hub. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this was presented today on the live stream by Mod Ryan, Iago, and Breezy. And they showed off a lot about the PvM Hub, so we're going to jump into it and discuss what they talked about. First and foremost, they're calling it the Garden of War. It is located in Death's office. There'll be a little door that you can go through on the side and it'll take you to the new PvM Hub. It is basically run by War, which is why it's called the Garden of War. War is the NPC that featured in the Halloween event last year, one of the 4 horsemen. So this area is not sharded, meaning it's not, an instance. They opted to go this way to prevent a lot of issues, things with like, when you tele out of there from an instance to a regular part of the game world, it could disrupt your adrenaline stalling. So, they opted for not doing that. Initially, when you enter this area, you're going to see a couple of features. First, you got your bank chest. There's also a campfire you're going to notice here. This campfire is unique in that it only has a warm hands option. It can't be used to train your fire making or cooking, etc. However, it does instantly give you the bonfire boost. It will start off as giving you the boost of a regular log fire, but it can be upgraded. So War is your main guy that hosts the shop that'll give you various different upgrades, etc. Keep in mind that nothing here is final in terms of the prices, etc. So just be aware of that. There are various different unlocks based on how much boss kills you have, and there's also new purchasables with a new type of currency called Marks of War, which we will discuss later in the video as to how they're earned. Also in this initial part of the Garden of War, you'll see the Altar of War. Basically, this is used to recharge your prayer and summoning points, and it is unlocked through the shop. So this is not something you'll get initially. Since a lot of the upgrades are based on how many boss kills you have, anybody who currently has max kills, chances are, even if you're a mild PvMer, you would have enough boss kills to pretty much unlock everything right away. There are various different unlocks like a teleport that requires no runes, take you straight to the hub. Obviously the altar I just talked about, as well as benefits to the portals. Now in terms of the level design of the PvM Hub, they looked at how players currently interact with the max guild. Basically how they moved about it when they went to their banks, when they used the bonfires, etc. and took that into consideration to make that process just as smooth, if not smoother, here at the PvM Hub. Basically you can tele here, use the bank chest, bonfire, etc. and you'll be able to surge, blade, and dive to the portals and you'll be on your way. That said, let's talk about the portals themselves. You'll notice in the video there's been 3 portals so far. They have very different features. So the portal on the far right, that's one that you unlock. It's not going to be available initially unless obviously you have enough boss kills to unlock it. The one on the left, however, is going to be available to everyone straight away. That said, I'm going to talk about how attuning works for portals. So in order to attune a portal to a certain boss, you're going to need at least 1 kill for that boss. It will cost 100k to reattune, just like it did in Max Guild. However, if you do happen to have 100 kills in that boss, the attunement for that boss is free. And another cool thing, when you attune a portal, the portal will actually show you where you're going. So you'll see a picture of the boss right there on the portal, which is a really cool, neat aesthetic. Now, let's talk about the middle portal. This is known as the Reaper portal. This will always take you to your active Reaper task. It's important to note that the only one it won't tell you to is the Chaos Elemental, since it's in the wilderness, doesn't really have a tele to it, but all others will take you straight to your Reaper task. This should save you a lot of money if you're somebody who does use the Max Guild portal for doing your Reapers on the daily, so I'm sure you're going to be appreciative of that. They also plan to have changes to this portal if a new boss comes out, or if there is a seasonal high scores for any particular boss. You'll be able to switch between this Reaper functionality or one that takes you to obviously the new boss or whatever's seasonally happening. That said, Max Portal has not changed very much except one detail. All attunements in the Max Portal will be 100% free. So you might ask, if that's free, why would I bother even touching the ones here at the PvM Hub? Well, there's several reasons for that. There's a couple other amenities I haven't talked about yet that are unique to the hub itself, but also it's a social space. Here you're going to meet a lot of people, converse about bosses, etc. and they do plan to add things like notice boards and a themed world dedicated to just the PvM Hub, so people can log onto that world, find friends and like-minded people who want a boss, and go from there. Now behind the portal, higher up on a ledge, is a bunch of combat dummies. This is pretty much essentially your combat academy. Very similar functionality if you want to train your ability rotations, whatever may have you. So that's pretty straightforward. The next thing I want to talk about is adrenaline crystals. This is something you unlock in the shop, and there is one placed outside of each one of your new portals. These can be siphoned to fill up your adrenaline to full, which is a very neat feature. Don't need a combat dummy or any other thing. You can just fill it up right then and there. And that's probably going to be the most expensive thing in terms of the unlock shop. The next thing I want to talk about is this section off to the side. This is basically your grouping and finding group area, I guess you can call it, whatever. But basically, if you're in a group and you're standing in this area, you'll see an icon pop over your head that will indicate so. So this is where you're going to go if you're looking for someone who wants to boss, or you're looking for groups, whatever the case may be. Different bosses will have different icons. So for example, if you want to go Virago and your group is set to Virago, you'll see like Virago's face above your head, or whatever the case may be. And then completing a group will remove the icon over your head to indicate to other players that you're no longer looking for a group. The next place I want to talk about is the achievements area. This place is designed to give players a way to recognize their achievements in PvM. Here you're going to find a lot of things to display all the different feats, your boss pets, your combat pets, etc. There are locations for all of those here at the achievements area. There are also some armor stands. Here you can place various different things that you've earned, like the Virago Omens outfit, your next AOD chest, the Vanquisher outfit, the Nomad Soul Capes, and they can all be displayed here. It is instanced, to keep that in mind, so you're the only one who's going to see this for yourself. Those of you who do streams, videos, whatever, you can show it off. Or, if you're just an average player, you can take screenshots of it, send it to your friends, say, hey, look at all these achievements I got, etc. Whenever you actually unlock a pet, they're automatically going to be sent here, so you don't have to do anything additional for that, and that's pretty cool. They do say that they designed this place in such a way that obviously new bosses are going to come out in the future, so it is created so that anybody could easily just add new areas to this place, and obviously add more places for those new pets, which is really good to hear as well. So now that we talked about the various different areas here, I want to return back to the Marks of War, which is the new currency at War's shop. So War is basically going to reward them out to players for taking part in bosses. Any boss that has a boss timer and then calculates your boss kill timer at the end will be eligible to earning Marks of War. So basically how it works, at least in this current state, is that for every 3 minutes you spent fighting a boss, you earn 1 Mark of War, meaning that after an hour of killing a boss, you can get 20 marks. It's important to note that time is only counted if you kill a boss. Theoretically, you could just camp a boss, never kill it, and then just run the timer until the hour's over and then kill it at the very end and earn all those marks there. They did talk about this, but it didn't seem like they're very concerned with it, because it honestly doesn't seem like a very big deal. In fact, a player is probably better off just killing the boss because you'd be making money along the way, but at the same time it's not that big of a deal, or it's not really a big exploit if you just camp defensive abilities the whole time and never kill the boss until the very end. So they may or may not do something about that. The last thing I do want to touch on quickly is that the shop will actually have aura refreshes and life refreshes. They said that people tend to not really buy these from Death Shop because the Hydrix gem is, the ideal thing to purchase. And plus, it's kind of a reward for doing PvM. You do enough PvM, earn the marks, and then you can spend those marks for your aura refreshes and then go right back into PvMing. So there's like a life cycle loop with these marks through the aura refreshes, which is, a nice little thing that will reward you for doing something you already do, and that is, PvMing. Finally, they do say that they do have ideas for other types of rewards that may end up in this shop before launch, and are open to any feedback or suggestions for any rewards that players might want. So do let them know. One quick thing that I want to say before I close out, I'm sure people are pretty concerned as to whether or not this is going to devalue the Max Guild in a way it kind of does, which is probably why they made the max portal free for attuning. But Mod Ryan does say that he does at some point want to go in and add some features to the max guild to make it much more appealing. So those of you who do have those concerns, at some point I'm sure he's going to try to make the max guild beneficial in different ways. So I just wanted to, let you know about that if you had those concerns. And that's pretty much it for the PvM Hub, the Garden of War. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about it. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.